Now let's return to the breaking story that we brought to you a little earlier. Nigerian Senator Ike Ekweremadu and his wife have been found guilty of an organ trafficking plot involving bringing a 21-year-old man to the UK. Mr. Ekweremadu, his wife Beatrice, and Dr. Obinna Obeta, who was described in court as a medical middleman, were all found guilty on Thursday at London's Old Bailey Court of conspiring to exploit the young man from Lagos for his kidney. Prosecutors said the organ was to be removed and given to the couple's 25-year-old daughter, Sonia. Now, Arise correspondent Lakbe Olarinoye has been monitoring developments, and she joins us now from London for more. Good day, Lakbe. Thank you so much for joining us. Just to get straight into it, what more can you tell us about this case?
Well, as you can imagine, this case has been going on for a significant number of months, starting in the middle of last year when the couple, Mr. Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice, were accosted at the airport in London. They were immediately arrested and were taken into the police office to be charged. And so far, the wife of Mr. Ike Ekweremadu, Mrs. Beatrice Ekweremadu, was given bail after a number of months. And then later on, as the story developed, we found out that their daughter, Miss Sonia Ekweremadu, and this medical middleman that you described, Dr. Obinna Obeta, were also then charged with the same charges of course, organ trafficking under the Modern Day Slavery Act. Now, so far, it has been a tumultuous trial with Mr. Ekweremadu taking stand under cross-examination, being asked a lot of questions about his involvement and knowledge of the organ transplant, if you like. And so far, after the 6 weeks trial, they've been found guilty at the Old Bailey. Now, it's worth noting here that Mr. Ike Ekweremadu and his wife have been found guilty, as well as Dr. Obinna Obeta. But their daughter, who is, of course, at the center of this case, has been cleared of all charges. That was just today, earlier on today, she was cleared. But the other three have, of course, been found guilty. And as you rightly pointed out, sentencing won't happen for some time to come. But like I say, it has been a very tough case, specifically because it's been involving their daughter. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about the laws in this country. Organ donorship is currently allowed in this country so far as there's no financial reward. Now, what has been at the center of this case is that young man who was said to have been brought from Nigeria to the UK, facilitated, if you like, to the UK in aid of transplanting his organ. He was said to have arrived at the hospital and not agreed. Thereafter, he says he was kicked out and had to go to the police station to find succor. And for that reason, that's why this case escalated so quickly. And unfortunately, a family is caught up in what is a crime in this country.
Thank you so much, Lakbe. Of course, Ike Ekweremadu insists that he is, in fact, a victim of a scam. Do you know what happens next, if there are any plans for an appeal?
Well, currently, the sentence of the charges that they've been convicted of are definitely quite complicated, in the sense that this is the first time that anybody has been found guilty under this new Modern Day Slavery Act. However, the charges that they've been found guilty of are specifically for organ trafficking and not human trafficking, which, of course, would find a higher sentencing. This time, however, there are other bills which this may fit into, and that is, of course, the Health and Care Act bill that was only very recently, in 2004, which it sounds as though these charges would fit more directly into. So there are issues with technicalities here, and of course that would severely impact the sentencing. If they are found guilty, of course, they've been found guilty of organ trafficking, and if that is going to be sentenced under the Modern Day Slavery Act, then of course they could be facing anything up to 14 years in prison. However, if it's under a technicality charge and issue, and they are facing more of the Health Care and Act bill, then they could potentially face anywhere from 12 months to 3 years. And we know so far Mr. Ike Ekweremadu has spent so far about 10 months in detention. And that, of course, in this country will be deducted. But so far, we have no idea of what the technicalities are. I would suspect that as somebody with a legal background like Mr. Ekweremadu, this could potentially be appealed and go to the next level of the legal justice system here, and could go to a higher court and therefore could be thrown out. But it's too early to say. We won't have a clearer understanding until that we wait for that sentencing.
Yeah, but landmark case indeed. Now, I know this news is breaking. It's still very fresh. But what reactions have been coming in following this verdict?
Well, you know, so far I've been across this story, and so far there has been a lot of reactions from British media. In fact, several of the British newspapers and television organisations have covered this story, have described reactions of the accused, saying that Sonia wept profusely as she hugged her dad before he went down into the docks. She, of course, was cleared. So there have been descriptions of the emotions coming out of the court this afternoon, rather. However, so far, the reactions haven't started pouring in just yet. As you say, it is breaking, but so far, international media are picking it up quite quickly.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Lakwe. We also understand that this sentencing will happen on May 5th. We appreciate your time and analysis. Thank you so much, Arise correspondent Lakwe Olarion.